It's Tuesday again, and I would like to hang with you lads, but I'm off to listen to the new episode of the Slaven Selection Show. Play now or stay in dark forever.
The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. This was a poem by Robert Frost, and crows have been a great source of inspiration in poetry, representing themes such as death, wisdom, and transformation. Poets such as Ted Hughes and Sylvia Plath investigate this cryptic nature, while works such as Emily Dickinson's 1514 and Frost's Dust of Snow demonstrate its relevance to the human experience. Anthologies such as A Bird Black as the Sun highlight their importance in writing by illustrating how these birds connect with human emotions and the natural world. Well, yeah, it's that time of the year when I have to cover both superstitions and science, and I love animals, and so crows are, my natural choice for this so-called spooky episode. These days, I prefer science over fiction, but I also enjoy folklore, mythology, and myths in general. There's nothing like good storytelling, which was not only important, but I dare to say essential to our culture. Storytelling has a significant impact on our civilization, functioning as a key source of communication, education, and cultural preservation. And what better time to tell stories than during the holidays and festivities? Also, Celtic languages, with their ancient roots and rich cultural tapestry, has served as vehicles for history, myth, and storytelling, as well as communication. These traditions not only preserve the distinctive linguistic character of Celtic languages, but also provide important insights into Celtic cultural identity. I'm a storyteller myself, and diving in is something special for me. So, the genus Corvus, which includes crows, ravens, rooks, and jackdaws, makes up over a third of the entire Corvidae family. And the Corvidae family contains roughly 120 identified species. The genus Corvus contains roughly 43 known species. Crows live in a variety of geographical places around the world, with distinct species adapting to diverse situations. And crows are present on all continents except Antarctica. They live in a variety of settings across the globe, displaying extraordinary flexibility. And if you didn't know, our love and pride, blue jays, are part of the same family. However, because of their royal blue or ultramarine, or if you really want hexadecimal code, whatever, which one is it? It's 25B47E. That's the hexadecimal blue jays code. This color is described as medium dark blue that belongs to the dark sky blue color family. And Blue Jay has RGB values of 17% red, 30% green, and 49% blue. Now you know. But this episode is mostly black, so its hexadecimal code is 0000000, and yeah, that's it. Mostly zeros, 6 zeros. So hexadecimal doesn't have anything to do with hexen, right? Nothing to do with witches. And hexadecimal originated in both Greek and Latin. And what the heck? I'm going too far. Like, this is on my spaghetti monster. I'm tripping balls now. Okay, let's go back to crows. Myths, legends, and symbolism. Well, Halloween was originally a Celtic event, so let's strive to bring out that perspective. Crows are frequently regarded as foreboding creatures representing death or impending disaster. That's not nice. Their scavenging habits, particularly their proclivity to feast on carrion, have led to links with battlefields and the aftermath of warfare. And this relationship strengthens their reputation as emblems of mortality, making them appropriate iconography for Halloween, a period when themes of death and the afterlife are popular. Crows have diverse cultural associations with witchcraft and the supernatural, and many European cultures regard crows as witches, familiars, or shapeshifters capable of taking on human form. And this relationship adds to their ominous reputation during Halloween. The iconography connected with Halloween changed over time, actually, so crows became favorites in Halloween decorations, typically pictured sitting ominously on tombstones or swooping through misty landscapes, adding to the holiday spooky mood. The Morrigan, a major figure in Irish mythology, frequently represented as the goddess of war, fate, and death. She represents a triad of battle deities, Macha, Bat, and Nemain. Frequently appears as a crow, and in this shape she represents impending battle and provides protection to soldiers. The Morrigan's appearance is sometimes associated with foretelling death or triumph in combat, confirming the crow's affiliation with the supernatural. Crows are frequently linked to combat, conflict, and the outer world in Celtic mythology and folklore. The Morrigan, triad of war goddesses, is typically represented as a crow, representing death and devastation. Crows are also seen as messengers between the human and divine realms, conveying valuable information. And they appear frequently in Celtic myths and traditions, emphasizing their importance as symbols of power, protection, and guidance. They're associated with significant people such as Taliesin, Owain, and Cuchulainn, I think, and play important roles in their stories. Ravens, a near relative of crows, have symbolic significance as well in Celtic mythology, and they are associated with Norse mythology as well. Odin, the Norse pantheon's supreme god, is sometimes represented with two ravens named Hugin, or thought, and Manin, or memory. These ravens fly all over the earth, gathering information and reporting back to Odin. This relationship underlines their significance as emblems of intelligence and insight, as well as Odin's need on them for worldly knowledge. In places like Cornwall, attempts to safeguard indigenous bird species like the chow, I think, a bird related to crows, demonstrated the Celtic culture's continued reverence for these birds. And the bird is associated with King Arthur, and it represents resilience and connection to legacy. In Greek mythology, Coronis was a Thessalian princess who became impregnated by Apollo, but then betrayed him by falling in love with the mortal named Ischys. And this act of infidelity was revealed to Apollo by a white raven dispatched to protect her. Apollo grew outraged when he learned of Coronis' treason. In his rage, he burned the raven's feathers, turning them from white to black in punishment for its failure to prevent the incident. And this transition is sometimes claimed as the reason crows and ravens are black today. So what about a number 3? Interestingly, there is a lot of symbolism surrounding the number 3 in crows. Some in the Eastern cultures like China, Korea, and Japan are three-legged, and the term three crows also refers to notable Go players from Japan, symbolizing excellence and mastery within the game. And Yatagarasu is a mythological crow and a guiding god in Shinto mythology. It is noted for its three-legged figure and is a sign of guidance, notably for Emperor Jimmu during his eastern expedition. And also in East Asian mythology, particularly in Chinese and Korean traditions, the three-legged crow, known as Yangwu or Samjok-o, is a solar deity who is thought to live in the sun. Some crows are three-eyed, like in George R. Martin's books, and some appear in groups of three. Three crows are frequently used to represent the three stages of life: childhood, adulthood, and old age. And this triadic symbolism can also represent family structures, such as two parents and a kid, highlighting the value of familiar relationships and unity. In spiritual contexts, three crows represent wholeness and balance, which is frequently associated with the unification of mind, body, and spirit. And this is consistent with other trinities found in different belief systems, such as the Christian Holy Trinity. In English mythology, the story of three ravens depicts birds scheming over a deceased knight, emphasizing their relationship with death and fate. Similarly, German folklore has stories where the crows function as messengers of or guardians, frequently warning characters about coming tragedy. I'm pretty sure you noticed that crows are amazing. They're so smart. Crows are frequently considered the most clever birds. They have exhibited advanced problem-solving ability in a variety of studies, including tool use and future planning. For example, New Caledonian crows have been observed making tools out of sticks to remove insects, demonstrating their ability to anticipate ahead and manage their surroundings successfully. And New Caledonian crows have shown amazing awareness of water displacement comparable to a 5 to 7-year-old child, and which was demonstrated in a study that used the Aesop's fable paradigm, in which crows were assessed on their capacity to use stones to raise the water level in a tube in order to obtain a reward. Well, I hope everyone here on this channel is familiar with the Pythagorean theorem and water. And if I had a crow, oh, how I wish they're so cute. I would name it Pythagoras. Why not? If I have two, the other one might be obsidian or something like that. So that's a cool name for crows. Researchers also created vending machines specifically for crows, requiring them to insert appropriately sized paper tokens to obtain a food reward. And the goal of this assignment was to see if crows could recall and create the exact size of paper for their individual machine, putting their problem-solving skills to the test in a new situation. Furthermore, crows were assigned complex issues that needed them to use tools in a certain order. For example, they had to use one tool to obtain a hidden tool, which they then used to acquire food. Some crows were able to plan numerous steps ahead, exhibiting high cognitive abilities akin to what is exhibited in humans. And that's not the end of it. Crows remember human faces for years and transmit that knowledge to future generations. They also use tools and can assemble them. They comprehend urban traffic well enough to place walnuts in front of cars to open them. Oh my God, that's insane. And that's not the end of it. Crows remember human faces for years. Again, they really don't do anything bad to crows. They're gonna pass it to their children. They're amazing birds. It's funny how when it comes to scarecrows, scarecrows were first recorded in ancient Egypt over I would say 3,000 years ago. And Egyptian farmers would hang tunics on reeds along the Nile River to keep birds away from their wheat fields. They also utilize wooden frames with nets to catch birds. However, unlike other birds with strong religious or symbolic links, crows do not appear to have possessed particular position in ancient Egyptian religion or iconography. Ancient Egypt economy and society relied heavily on agriculture, notably grain production. The rich Nile Valley created perfect growth conditions for crops, particularly wheat and barley. And in good years, Egypt produced surplus grain that could feed the whole population while still having enough for storage and commerce. And this is where veneration of cats comes in. Grain, goddess Bastet, was most likely inspired by a dominant female cat chasing mice. Around 2500 BC, ancient Greek farmers created wooden sculptures of Priapus. Now you know where the term Priapism is coming from. Well, the god of fertility and horticulture, to safeguard their vineyards. The Romans later adopted and extended this technique throughout Europe when their forces marched throughout the continent. Well, you know what? Considering crow intelligence, I'm really not sure how effective scarecrows were at all. In Canada, well, crows are vital to the cultural fabric of many indigenous peoples, representing wisdom, deceit, and creation. Their representation in stories and art emphasizes their significance in comprehending the interaction between humans and nature in different societies. In Northwest Coast indigenous traditions, the crow, often represented as a raven, is crucial to creation tales. The raven is usually shown as a trickster and creation character responsible for bringing light into the world of changing the landscape. The crow represents both good and evil, reflecting its complicated nature throughout legends. For example, in certain traditions, the crow is considered as a guardian spirit or teacher, but in others, it might be associated with mischief or chaos. The raven is a major crest figure in the Haida, Tlingit, and Chimachian cultures, representing prestige and strength. Its renown as a guardian goes that helped hunters. Inuit traditions also revered the raven as a creator of life, and its appearance in stories frequently represents metamorphosis and adaptability. So, crows, ravens, and rooks are frequently portrayed as a single species in heraldry. Crows have appeared on numerous coats of arms throughout Europe. For example, the coat of arms of County Dublin and Fingal in Ireland depict a crow inspired from Viking symbolism. Crows are highly valued in Scandinavian heraldry due to their importance in Norse mythology. They are frequently connected with knowledge and warfare. And the Hunyadi family of Hungary utilized the raven as a symbol of historical military significance. Crows can be also found on coats of arms in cities such as Lisbon in Portugal and Einsiedeln in Switzerland, where coat of arms has two crows. Some of the most recognizable paintings include Vincent van Gogh's Wheat Field with Crows, which is my favorite. It's a beautiful painting, and from 1890, and which can carry a particularly heavy symbolism today, given the events in Eastern Europe, and appears to be some sort of a prophecy. I don't know. Also, Casper's David Friedrich's The Tree of Crows from 1822, then Diego Velázquez, St. Anthony's Abbot and Paul the Hermit in 1634, and August Friedrich Schenk's Anguish from 1878. Also, Alexei Sarasov's The Rooks Have Returned from 1871. And when it comes to books, I should probably start with Feast for Crows by George Martin. What else, you know? Crows are often associated with battlefields due to their scavenging behavior. Their intelligence allows them to recognize patterns such as large gatherings of people, which could indicate potential food sources from the battlefield. Well, I have to brag, I met George Martin a long time ago and spent an hour talking with him, not knowing who is he anyway. Crows are frequently connected with death and treachery in folklore, and Martin makes great use of this symbolism. Crows will fight over a dead man's flesh. It's a sentence that captures the harsh essence of the people striving for control in the aftermath of conflict, expressing their vicious ambition and readiness to betray one another for personal gain. We all remember Euron Greyjoy, often known as Euron Crow's Eye, who represents the dark and predatory qualities associated with crows. The struggle for survival is a key subject in Feast for Crows, as numerous factions battle for dominance in the ruins of war-torn Westeros. The motive of Raven's scavenging represents the desperation of characters who must navigate a world rich with betrayal and brutality. Also, the Night's Watch from the Wall is nicknamed the Crows, and the Three-Eyed Crow is connected with prophecy, memory, and the supernatural, which are closely related subjects. And this character, often identified as Brynden Rivers, also known as Blood Raven, is Bran Stark's mentor and has many metaphorical implications. When we talk of threes, it's interesting to mention that the three-eyed crow, also known as Sanzuwu in Chinese mythology, or Yatagaratsu in Japanese mythology, and Samjoko in Korean mythology, is a strong symbol in East Asian civilizations, connected with the sun and themes of guidance, power, and divinity. Although not technically crow, but raven, Edgar Allan Poe's Raven is probably what I would typically connect with Halloween's spirit. Edgar Allan Poe has become an iconic figure connected with Halloween because to his study of themes such as death, madness, and the macabre in his writings. Poe's literature has themes of loss, sorrow, and the supernatural, which are similar to the darker parts of Halloween. And his ability to elicit horror and suspense make his stories particularly appropriate for this time of year. Although there is no immediate connection, between Halloween and him. But anyways, it could have been Wes Craven or Stephen King. Just read the Dark Tower series. Also, if you haven't seen The Crow with Brandon Lee, you don't know what you're missing, and the soundtrack is also fantastic. Crows are also featured in indigenous art such as sculptures, paintings, and fabrics, and their iconography frequently reflects their position in mythology and their relationship to nature. What is most surprising is the association of owls with wisdom, which was prevalent, and it's not exclusive to Europe. It has strong origins in many civilizations around the world, including ancient Greece. And it has also been a symbol of several intelligence agencies. While owls are not as smart as crows, they do have specialized intellect that is well suited to their predatory lifestyle. I think owls are adorable, but if anyone deserves a label of an intellectual among birds, it's the corvids. If you want to learn everything about crows, then I have a suggestion for you. It's a fantastic book. There's a book by Candace Savage, a Canadian novelist noted for her contributions to both nature writing and poetry. She wrote the book Crows Encounters with the Wise Guys of the Avian World, and that's just one of the books she has released. Strongly recommend. So that's it. Crows can act as tricksters, similar to how characters. Crows can act as guides and tricksters, similar to how characters seek instruction from mentors while also facing deception from individuals who might lead them wrong. Some drama queens, believe it or not, identifies as crows, and some petty paramilitary groups adopt names such as Black Crows to make us take them seriously. No fancy pompous moniker will stop them from being what they probably are, eternally mediocre. Well, when it comes to situations like that, you should listen to your guide crow and to this show, of course. So stay selective. Until the next time, bye-bye.